All right, I think this deck is the best deck in the format. Don't at me. It's Chien-Pao EX. This thing is insane now with the rotation and how good this feels playing into so many different matchups. I think you've got a really good spread across the board, and things that used to be super unfavored, like Giratina, are actually favored now for you. So let's just dive right in. Chien-Pao EX is a 220 HP basic Pokemon EX with the ability Shivery Chill and the attack Hail Blade. Shivery Chill, when it's in the active spot, once per turn you can search your deck for 2 water energy and put them in your hand, and then Hail Blade for 2 water energy does 60 times the amount of water energy you discard from all of your Pokemon, basically giving you an uncapped damage potential. This thing can one-shot Charizard, Pidgeot, opposing Chien-Paos, Giratina, Lugia, you name it, this can knock out any Pokemon except for Mimikyu, because it's immune to Pokemon EX. Anyways, let's just continue on. We have 2 copies of Chien-Pao. This typically used to play 3, but 2 is enough now to where you have a lot of other options to where you don't have to play this down to prevent them from trading up on you into a 2-prize scenario most of the time. To support this and get this thing going, we have to play the big man on campus, Baxcalibur. We're playing 3 copies of the 60 HP Frigibax that has 1 retreat to make sure we can evolve into Baxcalibur. We have the ability Super Cold on this thing. You can play as many water energy you'd like during your turn. And the attack Buster Tail isn't anything to scoff at either. I've done it quite a few times into some single prizers for 2 water and a colorless to hit for 130 damage. So Baxcalibur is your like rain dancer, basically, in terms of like how Blastoise used to be way back in the day if you've played for a long time. And then another support Pokemon slash attacker is Radiant Greninja. This thing is just probably the best card in the game, honestly, until it rotates. I think this is just going to be in almost every deck that can use it and abuse it. Concealed cards allows you to discard an energy card and draw 2 cards once per turn, and then you attack Moonlight Shuriken for 2 water and a colorless. You have to discard 2 energy attached to this Pokemon, but it's 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. And with so many like evolution Pokemon out there and like support Pokemon, this thing can just take 2 prizes and feel really good, forcing a lot of decks to play Manaphy. Then we have our Bibs. We got 2 Bidoof and 2 Bibarel. Bidoof here has Carefree Countenance. When it's on the bench, it's unaffected by damage from its attacks. So they can't, Greninja your Bidoof, so on and so forth. And then Bibarel, of course, for Industrious Incisors. Draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. This is a really good support Pokemon here. And the last Pokemon is the Big Chungus himself, Iron Hands EX. Get your large Chungus shirts in the merch store down below in the description. But if this thing is just insane here, for 160 damage for 2 lightning and a colorless, you can't do that in this deck. We don't play 2 lightning energy, we only play 1, so you're using it for amp you very much to do 120 damage, and if this Pokemon knocks out a Pokemon, you take an additional prize card. Holy crap. To take 2 prizes from a Bibarel, from a Greninja, from a Frigibax, from Charmander, Pidgey, potentially other Pokemon as well, like Palkia V, Lugia V. You could knock those out and take 3 prize cards. This thing is an absolute monster and is a game ender for sure. To support this deck and get it going, we have to play 4 copies of Irida. You can grab a water Pokemon and an item card, put them in your hand, reveal them. Most times you're going to go ahead and grab Baxcalibur and Rare Candy to evolve your Frigibax, but sometimes you'll grab, say, Chien-Pao or Greninja or whatever else you potentially need, and your item cards are to the moon. This deck also plays more supporters now. Unlike last format, we have 2 copies of Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. Again, I think this is like my favorite card from Temporal Forces. Search your deck for 2 cards, shuffle your deck, and then put them on top of the deck. This combos with so many things. It combos with the Greninja and the Bibarel, and of course Pokestop, which we'll get to very, very shortly. But this just lets you stack whatever you need, like 2 items. You can spin a Pokestop, grab those 2 items, or if you need to grab, Candy Backs and you can't play Irritable, you can play Cypher Maniacs, and you can just use Greninja or Bibarel to make that happen. And 2 more supporters we have Ino for the hand reset. We play double Bib, so we can hurt ourselves with this in this deck and slow our opponents down, and then just draw back up with Industrious Incisors. That's it for the supporters. Again, this is a lot more than it used to be last format. I literally used to play like 4 Irida and maybe an Ino, maybe a boss. but now we're able to play a lot more. We cut back down to 2 Pokestops. Look, you can discard the top 3 cards of your deck, but add any items you find there to your hand. This is really good. Also, you can get energy in the bin, which you want it for superior energy retrieval, which we'll get to very shortly. And again, just combos really well with Cypher Maniac's code breaking. All right, items. We have 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin to grab Pokemon with 70 HP or less. You're only going to be able to grab BDIF and Frigibacks, but you have to get them set up pretty fast, like turn 1. So we got to play 4 copies of this. We're also playing 4 copies of Nest Ball to grab basic Pokemon again to help you grab your Bidooфs, your Friggies, your Greninja, your Chien-Pao, and when you need to later in the game, you can grab your Iron Hands. We have 4 Ultra Ball again to grab evolution Pokemon primarily by discarding aka Baxcalibur and the Bidoof Bibarel nonsense, but you can also just grab whatever you're missing with this Ultra Ball. We have 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball to grab a basic Pokemon out of the prizes and swap this into the prizes. If you prize your Iron Hands or your Chien-Pao, this is just going to be your best way to get those out of there and into your hand. We've got 3 Rare Candy to skip from Frigibacks to Baxcalibur. And again, item card, findable with Pokestop, Irida, and all the crazy Cypher Maniac combos. We then have 2 Earthen Vessel to search our deck for energy. Now, of course, Chien-Pao does search for basic water, but this is your way to guarantee that you're able to get more water energy in your hand so you can discard it for effects or attacks like Hail Blade to do more damage, or, you know, Moonlight Shuriken, and help you find that lighting energy for Iron Hands EX. Our big recovery card is Superior Energy Retrieval. You have to discard 2 cards, but you can get 4 basic energy from the discard pile back into your hand. So once you've taken a big knockout with Chien-Pao or Greninja and you need this energy back into your hand to play them again with Baxcalibur, Energy Retrieval here, Superior Energy Retrieval will allow you to snag them back from the bin. This is just such a good card. And also you can thin your hand down, play the energy down, and then use things like Industrious Incisors to draw into other cards potentially. For recovery, we have Super Rod. This is really good to put back individual Pokemon like Greninja, Iron Hands, you know, your Baxcalibur line, or your Chien-Pao. And also you can put energy back in the deck and then say grab it with Shivery Chill all over again. And then the last 3 items in here, a Spec Prime Catcher, a Counter Catcher, and a Canceling Cologne. These are insane. Prime Catcher is basically a Guzma if you've played back in the Sun and Moon era. You switch in one of their bench Pokemon and then replace your active with one of your bench, so it's just a nice extra pivot. There's times where you could start a Chien-Pao, use Shivery Chill, grab energy, Prime Catcher up something, switch into the next one, grab energy again, rinse and repeat, or you can gust up your Iron Hands or bring up a single prizer of theirs and KO it. Counter Catcher is another item when you're behind on prizes. It's basically a boss's orders to gust up whatever they've got on their bench that you want to KO instead. And last but not least, a Canceling Cologne. Until the end of your next turn, your opponent's active Pokemon has no abilities. You are going to play this to shut off your opponent's things like Manaphy and Mimikyu, Snorlax. This is a really good card in this deck to be able to help you sway those matchups in your favor. And again, if you Prime Catcher up Manaphy, send up your Radiant Greninja, play Canceling Cologne, and then like snipe 2 Charmanders turn 2 or whatever, or a Pidgey and a Charmander, or opposing Frigibacks if you went first and you're able to do it on your second turn. This is just a monster of a card combo. And we are playing a butt ton of energy. Again, we have 1 single lightning energy to fulfill Iron Hands, and then we have a whopping 9 water energy, so we can use all of our effects like Concealed Cards, Moonlight Shuriken, and of course all the damage needed for Hail Blade on Chien-Pao EX. I think this is probably my favorite deck of the format now, after playing it at locals this past weekend. I had an absolute blast with this deck. I would probably, in my honest opinion, if I was going to EUIC, I would probably play 58 of these 60 cards. I'm sure there's some sort of optimization changes somewhere, like maybe a 3rd Pokestop, maybe a 4th Candy, or a 3rd Baxcalibur. I mean, a flex spot would probably be the 1 water energy. That would be the 9th one into whatever else. But honestly, I really like this deck. This is so much fun. I never got to really play this last format. I had to go out of my way to get extra copies of Chien-Pao and whatnot to be able to build this, because my fiance just was the biggest Chien-Pao master in the house and in the local area. So I had to go out of my way to be able to build my own, and I'm in love with this deck. This is so much fun to play, and I completely understand why she likes it as much as she does. And the Iron Hands is just like the nice ace in the hole at the end of the game to potentially steal the dub back. I think this might be like the BDIF. I mean, everyone says it's Charizard, but I honestly think it's this. There's just so many cool interactions and combos you can do with Pokestop, Cypher Maniacs, Greninja, Bibarel, and just the way like you need to thin your hand down and sequence stuff to optimize your draws and your Pokestops and your searches and stuff. It's just, this deck is so fun to play. Every game feels a little bit different and not super linear other than setting up Baxcalibur. But if you enjoyed this video, let me know down below in the comments what you would play, what you would change, whatnot. If you want to see other decks, let me know what's going on. I've been playing this a lot, so there's also some tabletop footage of it as well from last week's stream. And again, I will try to do those streams more often than not. So let me know if you like those sort of things. Make sure you subscribe to catch live streams and other videos I might upload. Smash the like button to support the channel. We're on the road to 5K subs. We're getting closer and closer by the day. So hopefully in the next couple weeks we hit that 5K. And maybe we'll do some sort of cool giveaway or something. But that'll be it for this one. If you're going to EOIC, good luck out there. If not, good luck at locals when the rotation happens this week. And I'll see y'all later. Take it easy. Peace out.